Where's Stuhal, min friend, and welcome to another video. My dear friends, next time somebody tells you that you are a nistophobe just for wanting your favorite work of art to be treated with respect and adapted the way it should be adapted according to the source material, show them this or anything that is being posted on social media by people who apparently know nothing about the works of Professor Tolkien and only and exclusively want to see themselves in everything they see today. Now, I have said many times before that at least a half of my own personal favorite fictitious characters are non-white characters. So does that make me racist? Only because I want the work of Professor Tolkien to be treated as respectfully as, for example, a film adaptation of Black Panther film. Because you, of course, have to take into consideration the fact that not only did Professor Tolkien write his stories because of his passion for languages, he was a master linguist and philologist, and he taught at Oxford, he taught Old English, he invented his own languages. And because he was so in love with languages and created Elvish and Dwarvish languages, he needed people to speak the languages, of course. And apart from that, it is a widely known fact that he wanted to create mythology, a system of legends for his own country, for England, because it doesn't have many of them left. We can talk about Beowulf and such, but Beowulf originally came from Scandinavia and is not like really naturally or native English story. And of course he based his Arda stories on true historical medieval and pre-medieval Europe. And it is then its image. Well, because we know that in medieval and pre-medieval Europe, African-looking people did not have huge native settlements, we should expect that the cast of The Lord of the Rings, an adaptation, would reflect it and would look very much the same as Peter Jackson's trilogy did, as far as the actors go. But some people just cannot accept it. For some people, it is okay to stay faithful to, let's say, and use the example of, once again, Black Panther and Wakanda, but other stories, not so much. Because look at this. The Lord of the Rings star, Sir Lenny Henry, applauds Amazon's move away from Tolkien's fair-skinned characters to a diverse cast. And it says, the article on Deadline, veteran British comedian turned actor Sir Lenny Henry applauds the decision by producers of the Lord of the Rings series to create a racially diverse cast. Henry plays Suddock Burrows, a Hartford proto-hobbit, which by itself is preposterous because it's not really a proto-hobbit. Harfoots were only one of the sub-breeds of hobbits, 3 sub-breeds of hobbits, who only appeared in Middle-earth. Well, not in the Second Age. There is no mention that they would be there in the Second Age, but still, they are in the show, which only proves that they are going to be breaking the law as much as humanly possible. But the article continues. In Amazon's big-budget show, which launches this Friday, and which has diverted from both Tolkien's original books and the Hollywood films with their mainly fair-skinned characters, Henry told The Times, "That's to do with it being the 21st century. People want to see themselves, not people. Don't generalize it. Not everybody wants to see themselves, my dear friend Larry Henry. Some people are still able to accept escapism. Some people still want to enjoy good stories that are faithful to the author's vision and to the source material and to both fictitious and real history." But it continues. Of course, if you go back, there's going to be that thing that prevails because the books don't say Although some of the characters are described as hard-skinned and darker in complexion. But that was then, this is now, and we're telling the story now. Well, of course, if you live in medieval or pre-medieval Europe, if you are exposed to the hardcore weather and to the rough weather of that time, and it wasn't easy, it wasn't that fine to live in Europe at the time. It was a very rough weather here, and if you are exposed to sun, well, your skin will get naturally tanned. And it seems to me that people of 2022 have started to mix being tan with looking African, which is of course not the same thing. And I think this is insulting for both white and, black people. And it continues. After decades spent campaigning for greater diversity in the entertainment industry, where he was one of the few black faces on British television throughout the 1970s and 1980s, Henry is relieved that other stars like Idris Elba, David Harewood, David Oyelowo, and Riz Ahmed, I only know Idris Elba, I don't know the other people, have joined him in speaking out. I didn't see anybody in charge of anything that looked like me for a very long time, so that is lonely, he told the Times. You've got all these people now saying the same things that I started saying in 2000, which is the industry needs to change. And can it hurry up, please? As well as his role in The Lord of the Rings. It's not The Lord of the Rings. Henry will be on screen in Netflix's upcoming The Witcher Blood Origin. This is exactly the same thing. Exactly. Andrzej Sapkowski, who wrote the Witcher series, based his story solely and exclusively, and then it is even more specific, on the Slavic regions of medieval and pre-medieval Europe. Well, and I am half Czech and half Polish. So the stories, the folklore, the myths and legends that Sapkowski based his Witcher stories on, these are the stories that I grew up with, and the fairy tales. So, that is to say, my dear friends, what are you talking about when you are saying that the industry needs to change? I have only been observing constructed extremist fake diversity in the entertainment industry for the last 7 to 8 years. It has become an extreme. It really looks as if somebody was trying to eradicate the European culture and history. Everything is diverse. There has not been an exclusively Caucasian film for years. So, this is only virtue signaling, this is only attention grabbing, this is nothing else. And then, of course, Lenny Henry, supported by strange beings like Mr. Richard Newby here, who apparently is a writer of some sort. Since then, I have been blocked, so you can check him out for yourselves. But look at this, how he reacted to this particular article. Look at the comment. The entire effin' book series about goodness defeating evil by different races coming together and the rekindling of community. And yet we still have racist, unbathed Fs out here crying and snotting because Rings of Power cast black people as elves and dwarves. Pathetic. Once again, you are absolutely wrong, Mr. Richard Newby. We only want our favorite stories and myths and legends to be treated with as much respect as, for example, Black Panther. Another tweet that he tweeted is this. And now anyone upset about inclusive casting in Rings of Power is not a real Tolkien or Middle-earth fan. Now, if you think so, and if you think that this is the people's main problem, it is you, my friend, who is not a real or Middle-earth fan, and you apparently are not. Because you would have known, you and Sir Lenny Henry, you would have known that Tolkien stories have been around for decades. If you think about The Hobbit, since 1937. And he has been praised and loved and cherished by readers all around the world, no matter what their well, the color of their skin is, their sexuality is, their gender is, their background, their religion. Doesn't matter. What matters is the story that brings the people together. Well, but we could be talking about that for hours, and we will be seeing more fake fans and fake people like this in the months to come. Alright, my friends, let me know in the comments down below what you think. And that'll be all. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm out of here.